Sitting on the front porch, picking and singing, talking all
Alright, so
about
it's currently the end of 2025. We are coming to the conclusion of this year, and it is time to begin to head into 2026. And there's a lot of videos going on and being posted right now about how to make 2026 the year that everything changes. How to make the year of 2026 your year and make it something that's actually different from what happened in 2025, whether that be building upon it or starting from scratch and making it into the life that you've always dreamed of. But with that, I think that there is some confusion about the right way to do it. And so today in this video, I'm going to share with you how I personally go about planning my next year and what I think is the optimal approach for doing so. I'm going to take you through my routine at the end of the year and how I go about planning my 2026 goals and things that I want to achieve in the next year. It is currently December 27th as of the day I'm filming this, and that is the day before my mother's birthday. So Mama, if you see this, happy birthday. Thank you for all that you do for me. And so now, without further ado, let's get into how I go about planning for the next year and what I believe is the most optimal way to make sure that 2026 is the year that everything changes for you, and that is the year that you've always dreamed of and builds your life that you've always wanted.
Like a mockingbird, I sing my song. Stole out right and played all wrong in the darkest hour of the night. Oh, and I ain't made the opera yet. Miss you now, but hey, no sweat. I can get along alone, alright. City lights and pretty clothes, silver linings wrapped up bows, autumn leaves and falling winter snow. Well, I'm hoping now that where you are, they all think you're a movie star, 'cause you are the most famous girl I know. And I'm waiting now to catch you in the corner of my eye. I know you're gonna darken up my door. Well, I've got that old time feeling, babe. Well, it still ain't passed me by. Well, I've got that old time feeling like before.
So I think that as you begin to try to plan for 2026 and goal set for 2026, establish the things that you want to accomplish in the upcoming year, I think that the first thing that you need to do is that you need to establish where your baseline is. And so what I mean by this is you need to establish what it is that you accomplished in 2025 and reflect on the past year. What things did you do that advanced you in your life that you should continue doing? What things did you do that inhibited your growth that you need to stop? And I think asking questions like that, along with what gave you energy, what were the things that made you feel the most like yourself, the most like the person that you're trying to become, and take those things along with the negative side of it. What things did you do that drained your energy? What things took you away and further from your goals of who you want to become as a man or as a person? And I think analyzing those is a great way to get a baseline of what it is that you're trying to do in 2026 in this upcoming year. By having this baseline established, it makes the goal setting of 2026 a lot easier, because you know, okay, this is what worked, this is what didn't work, this is what I need to continue, this is what I need to stop. And by having that baseline of direction, that baseline of signal versus noise, it allows you to go ahead and have a better established rhythm of what you're trying to do in 2026. So for me, for instance, one thing that I did that felt really authentic and really gives energy to me just being myself was me quitting my job and pursuing my own company. Now, obviously that's a bigger jump that you don't have to take, but the point is that it enabled me to be more of my authentic self. It enabled me to do activities that gave me energy rather than spending time doing things that drained me of my energy. I was able to spend time doing things that brought me closer to my goals of who I want to be as a man in life, rather than doing things that took me away from that and made me feel like a shell of myself. So take some time, 15, 20 minutes, or even longer, and just kind of hash out in your mind, just even work through it with ChatGPT or any AI chatbot, and tell it to prompt you different ways of reflecting on 2025 to really grade how the year was and what things were positive, what things were negative, so that you know the person that you are and where you're at going into 2026. So the next thing we're going to talk about is actually planning out goals and what the different sectors of goals should be and the different factors of life that I think you should consider before actually finalizing the goals that you're going to set for yourself. So let's head back up to the shop and let's get to it.
If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it. 'Cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, till you can.
So the next thing that you want to do for your goal setting for the next year, after you've reflected on the past year, is to start to set areas for goals. So this can be different person by person, but what I'm going to do is give you my 4 areas that I focus on and what they mean to me, so that you can kind of get an idea of what you can do with yourself. So the first one for me is the foundational one, which is my relationship with God. So say it's the religious quadrant of my life. And so for me, what this looks like is, what goals do I want to have for the upcoming year in my relationship with God? So what am I going to do in order to achieve a closer relationship with God, and also to become more of a Christian male and a Christian leader in my life? The second area for me is my health. So this is the second piece of my life, and this is something that I definitely slacked on a little bit in 2025 just because I was so busy with business, but it's definitely a foundational piece for me. And it is essentially, what am I going to do for my health to better my health, right? What am I going to do to make myself a healthier, more aesthetically looking version of myself? And the third piece is my business. So what am I going to do for my business? What are my goals? What do I want to achieve for my business in the upcoming year? And the fourth and final thing is the personal side of my life. So how do I want to shape my personal relationships in my life this upcoming year? What type of friend do I want to be for my friends? What type of person do I want to be for my family? And, as well as other personal goals, such as reading X amount of books or things like that, that really develop me in my personal development side of things, the self-improvement side of things. So that is a quick bit about what areas of life I use in my life, but of course you can customize them to your life and make them fit you, make them fit what works around your life and what's important to you. I suggest doing 3 to 5. I personally go with 4, so that I can just have 4 quadrants in my life, and at the end of the year I can kind of pinpoint where I was strong in different areas and where I wasn't in others. Now take 10, 15, 20 minutes to decide on what the 4 quadrants of your life are going to be, so then we can set the exact goals that we're going to hit and how we're going to hit them in the upcoming year. Wrapped up eating some wonderful ribs with my father, and so I wanted to kind of make this last part of the goal setting thought process that I have. So whenever you're making goals, first you reflect, then you create the areas for the goals in the different quadrants or parts of your life, but the last thing is to actually make the goals. And there's a few guardrails that I like to follow whenever I'm actually creating these goals. So the first thing is to make it tangible. So you want it to be something that you can obviously see if you got it or you didn't. You want it to be something that you can tell, okay, I achieved this goal or I didn't, right? And the second part is that you want it to be specific. So along with it being tangible and something that you can see, you don't want it to be something like get in shape, because that is tangible, but it's not specific. There's no marker that you're setting to prove to yourself that you achieved that. So for instance, in the health thing, it would be, rather than get fit, it would be, I want to have 12% body fat, something like that. In business, it could be, rather than I want to make a lot of money or I want to have a successful business year, it could be, I want to hit 20K per month. So you want it to be tangible to where you can actually see it, but you also want it to be specific so that you can have a specific target that you're shooting for. Because if you're going at it with no specific target, you're just following a path with no destination. Versus if you have that specific target, then you know that you're starting from point A and you're ending at point B. And the last thing is just that you want to make it achievable. It's great to have lofty goals. It's great to set these highly competitive goals for yourself that you know that you'll have to work for. But it's important to make sure that it's achievable. For instance, if you're in your first year of business or you're starting your own business, it's not reasonable to say that you're going to hit 9 figures in that year. Is it technically possible? Yes, but it's unlikely. So you want to set something that's high, a high bar, a high standard for yourself, but you also want it to be achievable. That's kind of my 3-step framework for how I go about setting my goals into the next year. So first, once again, is to start with a reflection. Look at where you were at the end of the prior year. For instance, this year, look at what you achieved in 2025 and what could improve, what needs to stay, what needs to go. The second phase is to look for the areas of your life that you want to focus on. So it can be health, wealth, business, religion, family, personal. There's all types of things that you can put, and you can have your own specific ones for your life. And the last thing is to actually create the goals. And when you're doing this, always remember the guidelines of making it tangible so you can know whether you achieved it or not, making it specific so you have a specific marker and target that you're going for, and lastly, to make it achievable so that it's something that you can actually strive for and have to work for, but can actually get the reward of reaching that goal. So that's how I go about planning for the new year. I know everybody has their own opinion on it, but that's what has worked for me and what I think is the best route for doing it, between a person who battles with health and battles with business as well as his faith and is able to maintain all of them in a relatively good fashion. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comments down below if you gained any insights from this, or if you have any other ideas about how this could be improved. I'm always open to new suggestions. And as always, never stop your relentless pursuit of continuous improvement, and I look forward to us talking again soon.